So next on the list are fig and walnut cookies. So in line with my previous recipes, let me show you the ingredients. I've got plain flour with 1½ teaspoons of baking powder added. I've got some butter, which is softened, some soft light brown sugar, 3 medium eggs, which I've beaten together, soft, dried, ready-to-eat figs, which I've finely chopped, and some walnuts finely chopped. Finally, just 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds. So step 1 is to sift the flour and baking powder into a bowl and add a pinch of salt and set aside. So here is my sifted flour and baking powder and salt, which I'm just going to put over here. And then next I need this other bowl for the butter and the sugar, which I need to beat together until creamy, and then add the eggs a little at a time. So there's the butter, and let me just add the sugar, and now I need to beat those together. How delicious does that look? So now I'm just going to add a little bit of the beaten eggs, just a little bit at a time. Next, I need to stir in the figs and the walnuts and the fennel seeds. So I'll give those a good stir until they are all mixed in. Right, so there is my thick, sticky dough. At this point, I'm sure you're expecting me to say that we need to roll it out and use cookie cutters and make the cookies and stick it in the oven. However, what we do at this stage, because the dough is so sticky, is we divide the dough into 4 and we shape them into 4 logs, about 4 centimetres in diameter and about 15 to 20 centimetres long. And we wrap those up in cling film or freezer wrap and put them in the freezer for, I think it's 45 minutes. Let me just check that. Oh, 1 hour. Pop them in the freezer for an hour. Right, there is one of my wraps, and time to do the other 3. And here are my 4 dough logs, all ready to go into the freezer. So after an hour, use a sharp knife and slice the logs of chilled cookie dough into about 1 centimetre thick rounds and place the cookies on 4 large baking trays. They need to be very well spaced apart because they do spread a lot as they bake. And bake them for 12 to 15 minutes. So now it's time to pop them in the oven at gas mark 190 for 12 minutes to start off with. Right, as you can see, these are lovely and golden. They were in for about 14 minutes in the end, but as you can see, even with my spacing, they've rather merged into each other, especially down here. So, yeah, really space them apart unless you mind them bumping into each other. They're still going to taste as good. And so there are my cookies cooling on the wire rack. The recipe makes about 56 cookies, but I didn't use it all. I've stuck some of it in the freezer. And these ones will just have to be eaten within the next 3 days. I think I can manage that. Okay, enjoy.